Hey Aquarius. Aries season, or say that twice. Taurus season, May reading. All information to work with me one-on-one is below, as well as the link to the extended readings, which have been coming out very well, if I do say so myself. Better than well, pretty in depth. So we just go into like the even deeper questions, details of what we get from the general reading. Four of Pentacles. Fellow fixed sign, you might find some of the lessons, some of the teaching, some of the things that you've learned over the past few years through Saturn will be nudged in this season to take a look at. Where you put your money where your mouth is, type of, so to speak, and what that looks like for you. You may want to, there's a lot of questioning around your value, your relationship with money, your relationship with a masculine identity, perhaps a father figure or someone who played a very large part in your life in that way, as well as helping you to understand what and where you're perhaps unwilling to look. And it's like, if you look at the cards next to each other, and we'll go into this again in the second part, is he's just looking down at this person. Not like I'm looking, I realize how that could sound, but like with ease, you know, allowing these things to, in Taurus season, yeah, they might have some rubbing up against some sharp edges with the squares. However, if you take that into your own context, it's about being a little softer with these edges, you know, finding how you can smooth them out just a little bit so you don't get caught. You know, sometimes they are necessary for protection, but at this point, you're only protecting you from yourself, and well, that's no, you're okay. You know, no need for that. And the unveiling, the revealing, what may have seemed unfair, now you can take a look at it with different perspective, because whenever we are, I think this is backed as well, but now it's like whenever you do change the conversation, the relationship to parts of yourself where it has once been harsh, if you can have the compassion with yourself that you may have for others, not that saying that you have that for everyone, but that same kind of compassion. There can be this understanding that you didn't perhaps see before. And what could be shown to you is that there is a lighter approach to all of this that is unveiling itself through this. You, from King to the Page of Pentacles, you can realize more than ever why wisdom is also associated with being a child, or childlike, with childlike wonder. You're someone who doesn't lack curiosity. It's just when things that you may be resistant to or avoid, things that you come into, it's important that you, very important that you allow that wonder and that curiosity to come into that part of your life, even just for a moment. I know that's some things that you don't want to, maybe, you know, it's not your favorite thing to talk about or deal with, but there's a way to make it a little more lighthearted, and I think that's going to be what reveals to you after this talking to, this communication with yourself. Maybe you had some bad luck of some sort, or you've had to pay a fine, or your taxes weren't so great, you know, you didn't really get too much back, or maybe you had to pay. There's a lighter end to all of this, and maybe it's using a different way of doing them next year, maybe finding a second opinion on that, or it's just that there's a part where you're we all have a part of our lives, if you're willing to grow, we all have different parts and aspects of our lives that we need to sometimes put more into, and then we'll slowly reap the benefits of it. And if it's causing you to doubt yourself at all, just know that from 5 to 4 to 2, there's a more acute way of committing to and exchanging energy through all of this. You'll slowly start to realize that whatever once mattered before in that way doesn't, and you might not even notice. It might be through an exchange with another person that this thing has shifted with you, and it's because of what you've just went through, like so suddenly through this season. I think it's going to be very clarifying for you in a way that's moving a little slower, letting you process, letting you go through this time where you, and it's funny, the king is right above the page, which has been working out so divinely this month, that you discover both of these parts of yourself, that they can be in communication together, they can be in the rotation together, they can be seen without being always seen as vulnerable or harsh, right? And I think the Venus in Gemini is playing a role in that. And then once Mars enters Leo, I think a lot will make even more, not only sense, but it will be more commanding to you. It'll be more upfront. And what you're essentially grieving at this time, or whatever it is that you are finally admitting to, or finally slowly starting to unveil itself through what you've decided from, and how you decide to move forward from the situation, of gaining wisdom about yourself, pushing through, like not just pushing through, I'm not saying to overextend yourself, but it's again putting in a little bit more for, because it's your time to do that, because that's where you're at. You're in this giving a little bit more, a little bit extra to come back to the balancing of it all. And some things feels like they may never end at times. I understand that, but there is an ending in sight in terms of the transmutation. So things don't really end, but eventually they transmute with enough awareness, and you'll feel more like this side of yourself that's been revealed to you is finally in full vision. The 360 process, that mirror, you get to see all of it, right? A lot comes to light for you, and you become sharper in certain ways, more attentive in other ways. You notice that your energy shifts and balances out, but there's some things that you have to decide to. You have to remember what you authentically commit to by being yourself, and what you have to say no to. Even long bouts of doubt, okay, maybe you're used to being in it for like a period at a time, and maybe you start to narrow it down because you have more tools, you have more opportunities to let it go, release it, express it in a way that feels like, okay, this doesn't feel completely comfortable yet, but you're getting there, and you're always looking to sharpen that intuition and utilize yourself in different ways. And maybe there's areas where you feel very specific about, and you come to see this in yourself. And I think it's important to write it down or make some kind of ritual around it, especially for you, or like journaling about the moment or speaking about the moment in a way where you can save it and listen back to in times where you may find yourself again, because grieving or whatever it is that you're letting go of, both of those things go hand in hand. There's a process. It does let go, and sometimes we have those very deep moments that are almost psychedelic, or maybe it is with psychedelics. But there's also this drawn out process that it also has to go through. There's this other way, this energetic release, releasing from your patterns, like from all the way from the energetical level, from the past to the future. It's all intertwined, but that all begins to shift as you begin to shift, especially being the slowest moving energy. And then you'll have this very obvious realization. A lot of you will start feeling extremely fresh, like you just let go of a layer of skin. It was worth everything perhaps, hopefully, that you'll feel that way. But I know everyone will feel different, but I think you'll find that you have like this mojo again, that there's this, again, this freshness, this invigoration process. But what do you have to do before the invigorating process? It's like this exfoliation of your skin. So I think you're going through this exfoliation of your dead skin and what's been coming up, and you're just finally, maybe you treat yourself to something that really can help you shift. If you've been thinking of doing something or something keeps coming up on your feed, whether or not they're listening, you find that maybe it's time to try it or treat yourself to something to make this, maybe even that's your ritual. Okay, so we'll get into more into the second part. All information to work with me is below. Extended is there too, and we'll see you next month.